I haven't been back to Shenzhen since 2018. 7 years later, everything has changed. So this trip is about revisiting my old favorite places, but also discovering some new spots. The whole trip started in Vancouver, a quick layover in Taipei, then to Hong Kong, and a minivan service to cross the border. In this video, I'm gonna share with you some of my experience in this 10-day trip in Shenzhen, China. And to make it simple, I'm gonna break it into 3 parts, which is food, drinks, and some travel tips. First up, we got food. You have to try the coconut chicken hot pot. It is a local specialty, like people are saying like this dish was invented in Shenzhen. And what makes it special is like the broth is simply just coconut water. It is light, it is fresh, but it is full of flavor. And how you will eat it is like it comes in a pot of like chicken and coconut water. So you'll let it boil, and then you will start off with eating some of the chicken in like those special dipping sauce, and then you would drink the broth. And afterward, it is like other hot pot. You can add in some other ingredients that you want, like some vegetable and meat. And next up, we got this restaurant called Fei Da Zhu. I think it is a new place. I haven't seen it before I moved away. But this restaurant is specialized in dishes from Hunan province, and their most famous dish is this chili pork stir fry. It is spicy, crunchy, savory, all of the flavor combined into one. Even though this dish uses pork belly, but it is cut into very thin slice, and it's seasoning so well, you don't even feel the heaviness, and it pairs so good with a bowl of rice. Totally recommended. And one of my favorite discovery during this whole trip is this Taiwanese owned bakery in Futian area. The place feels vintage and cozy, and then they have this huge selections of bread. And all of the one that I've tried, they were all incredible. My top pick was probably the cashew hojicha cheese bread. As a person who loves bread, that was probably the best bread I've ever tried in my life. The bread was soft and chewy, and once you bite into it, you get that flavor from the bread itself, flavor from the cheese, like the cream. So you get that a little bit of like dairy sweetness from it, and then also you get that hojicha covered cashew, so you get that crunchiness. So it's like once you bite into it, there's like a lot of things happening within that bite. But it was so good. I also tried their peanut bagel. It is like softer than those New York or Montreal style bagel. You get the peanuts inside the bagel, but also on top. So if you're a person who loves peanut and bagel, you should give this a try. But it's different than the one that, if you just put peanut butter on Montreal style bagel. It's very different. I also tried their taro bread. It is still soft, even though I had it the next morning after I got it from the store. Like the bread was very soft, and then the taro filling was creamy, and it was sweet but not too sweet, so it paired really well with the bread altogether. And the owner also gave me a tour to their kitchen. Like you can tell that they put a lot of effort and care into their product. And then the store was just really cute. So if you're ever in the area or you're a person who loves bread, you have to give this place a try. Totally recommend it. Since I love spicy food, I had to try this dish called 水煮鱼. Literally, when you translate it into English, is water boiled fish. But it is not how it sounds like. It is a massive bowl with a ton of chili and bean sprout or like other vegetable, and then cover it up in spicy oil. And I found this very interesting. It's like the restaurant will serve this dish with like a slice of bread for each person. So you can use it to soak up all the additional oil from the bowl. But this dish is a bit heavy, but it is so good. So if you're a person who loves spicy food, you have to give this a try. Another newfound restaurant is called Shanshiliu, which specializes in cuisine from Guizhou province. Their most famous dish is called this fish and sour soup. It's kind of like a tomato soup, but it has more tanginess. So the whole dish is very fresh and light. And for me, it's kind of cool because we don't really get this type of Chinese food in Canada. Another dish that you'll have to try is called ji bao, which literally translated to chicken in a pot, but the whole idea is that you get 2 dishes from the same pot, and actually you'll get served with stir-fried chicken in a pot to your table, and it will have like your chicken and also some onion, garlic, cilantro, green onion, and like this special sauce, which kind of tastes like soy sauce mixed with doubanjiang, like that chili bean sauce. And then after you're almost done with the chicken, the server will come and then they will add in some broth, and then which would turn into a hot pot that you'll add your vegetable and your meat. It was good, and then there was a lot of flavor from that sauce, so it was a very interesting experience. So if you're in China, you have to try cuisine from Sichuan province, which is like the heaven for spicy food lover. And we went to this place, which was my all-time favorite before I moved away. I tried their chicken noodle with chili sauce and also their water boiled beef, which is the same concept as the water boiled fish earlier, but in this case he just changed it to beef. It was spicy, but it's nothing that you cannot handle. But the dish from this restaurant tastes better in my memory, but the flavor is still good though. So the last spot in the food category is dim sum. You have to try dim sum if you're in the Canton region. This is what they're famous for. So after you place your order, like the first thing that you have to do is to rinse your bowl and chopstick with some hot tea. Like the theory behind this is that when you're doing that, you're killing all the germs. So it is like a tradition to do it. And my personal favorite is shumai, which is kind of like dumpling that have the pork filling and then a shrimp on top. And then another personal favorite is hagao, which translated to shrimp dumpling, but honestly everything on the menu are solid, so you definitely have to give it a try. And moving on to drinks, there are so many new places that opened in this past 7 years, so I tried it as many places as I can. First up, we got Manor Coffee. It is a chain place, so they are everywhere in the city. That time I tried it, their latte. It wasn't bad coffee, but it also wasn't amazing. So it's kind of like an average coffee. I've heard a lot of people talking about this tea place called Chaji. Like it is the most popping tea place in China right now, but initially I was kind of skeptical. It's like, how good could it be? But after giving it a try, I get the hype now. It was actually good. My favorite things on the menu is their jasmine milk tea. Once both ingredients are combined together, flavor from the jasmine tea, so it's kind of like a floral flavor, but also with the milk, so it kind of smoothing out of like that bitterness from the tea. So it's like the whole drink is very smooth and well balanced. So totally recommending this place. It is like my favorite tea place from China right now. Next up, we got this tea place that is similar to Chaji called Oriental Jasmine. So I got their jasmine milk tea, which is like the top seller on their menu. It was okay. I wasn't that impressed though. So in comparison, since it sells very similar item to Chaji, I still prefer Chaji than this Oriental Jasmine. But if you're in the city, give these two places a try and let me know which one is your favorite. The next coffee place is Blue Bottle. I've been wanting to try Blue Bottle for a while now, so I was looking forward to try it since I knew they have a store in Shenzhen. Their latte was good, like very smooth, but their coffee is a little bit acidic for my taste. But overall, it is a good cup of coffee. And I also tried it Pete's Coffee. It is a chain store, so they're everywhere in the city as well. I tried it, their latte, it was good. One thing that surprised me from this place is like you can choose the coffee bean for your cup. Like if you want dark roast or medium roast. I haven't been to a chain coffee store that give this type of service, so I found it very good. Their latte was good, very smooth, very balanced. I could use this as my everyday coffee though, so totally recommend it. Another new coffee store that I found is called Shanchi. I think they do have a few locations in the city, but I went to the one in this area called OCT, and the vibe that I get from this store is like they do care about their coffee beans, because like on the menu it does give you like the description of like the performance and then the flavor that you will get from that coffee, or like the type of coffee bean that they're gonna use for that cup. So I tried their yuan yang, which is a special drink in Canton region that it mixes coffee and milk tea together. As you can imagine, the flavor is strong, but it is still very balanced between the coffee and the milk tea. It's not like one is taking over the other. Overall, the coffee store is very comfortable. There's a lot of sitting. So if you're ever in Shenzhen and looking forward for like a cafe to work or just to chill, like I would totally recommend it. The last coffee place is called Amstel. I think it is like the upgraded of Manner coffee. Like I tried their latte, but it was a little bit light for my taste, but it was like okay though. It wasn't a bad coffee, but there's nothing special about it either. And next up, there are some tips that I want to share if you're traveling to Shenzhen from abroad. And here are some apps that I download and I found it useful. First up, we got Xiaohongshu. It is kind of like a Chinese Instagram, but they're more like informational based rather than photo or video. So like if you want to know like what is the latest information, that's like your place to search, or like what to do or see or eat in a specific area. And the second app is called 大众点评, which is kind of like a Yelp. It will give you like restaurant recommendation or like what to eat in the area. Like that would be the app to use. And then next up is the Shenzhen Metro map. They have so many metro lines now, like it will get confusing very quickly. So this app is like a good way to help you to organize your trip in the city. So the last one is to download Gaoder Map or Baidu Map, because as we all know, Google Map would not work in China. So these two are like the alternative to help you to get around in the city. If you're visiting Shenzhen during the summer month, please be prepared for the heat. Like bring a mini fan if you can. If you don't have one, just buy it when you land. That would save your life if you're walking on the street. Because I'm telling you, the heat in Shenzhen, it is so different than the one in North America. Like, if you get a heat wave in Vancouver, like Shenzhen is definitely warmer than that. It's no joke. Something that I found crazy during this trip is that most of the places, if not all of the places, take WeChat Pay for transaction in like grocery store and like restaurant, or when you're like shopping. Like it is very uncommon for people to use their credit card or use cash. And that concludes my trip to Shenzhen. If you have any question or like want more details, leave a comment down below. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.